one-eyed leader catches one of them off guard and stamps his authority in brutal fashion. Somehow, the hyena gets up and starts limping away. But he doesn't get far. As dawn breaks, all but one of the hyena pack has retreated. It's badly mauled and missing part of its leg. But still, the male lion won't relent.
Amazing dramas here. Horribly damaged leg. Lion came in again. Bomb.
The hyena survives the attack, but it's badly injured. Is there any chance it can escape the lion? And if so, will it survive? Simon is at the salt spring when a lion brutally attacks a hyena. It's been badly injured, but it's still alive.
Beggars belief. How can an animal survive being suffocated effectively by a male lion, have the bottom of its leg chewed off, and still be breathing? Not just breathing, but have the will to live that is so keen that it gets up and it goes. Only a hyena. Only a hyena. You may not think they're beautiful, but my goodness, you've got to respect them. You've got to.
This hyena is a survivor. Despite its injuries, it manages to hobble away and disappears into a thicket.
Adult male lions take no nonsense. These two males want to make it absolutely clear who's boss. This is a statement, a clear signal to all the hyenas and any lion onlookers that these males mean business. It may look extreme to our eyes, but it's what these guys are built for. The new males immediately start to strut around, as if they own the place. This does not look good for our young lions, especially the males, who won't be welcomed here.
The clan comes from all directions. Soon there are twice as many hyenas as lions. But it's still not enough. of the clan makes a fatal mistake. In some places, lions kill more than half of all adult hyenas.
Someone out there wants to mooch Africa's biggest cat's meal. Few creatures would dare confront a proud lioness, but few creatures are as bold as a pack of hyenas. This kind of fight has rarely been filmed. Like a humble house cat, the lioness takes refuge in a tree. Proof that a whole pack trumps one queen.
The spotted hyena. The two main hyena clans are large and powerful, hunting brazenly in the territory of the lions. Sometimes they will tackle even the most dangerous of prey, like the Cape buffalo. The hyenas run down one of the cows later in the day, where, unable to defend herself against the ruthless attack, she finally collapses from shock and loss of blood. Nowhere else in Africa is the rivalry between lion and hyena as intense as on the plains of Savuti. And when Myomi's pride arrives, attracted by the noise of the kill, they are swiftly chased and attacked by the blood-crazed clan. The lionesses have no choice but to escape to the safety of the trees until their tormentors have left. This is when the hyenas are at their boldest, and if the pride is not accompanied by protective males, the clan shows no fear, rushing in at the kill to snatch a hard-earned meal from the midst of the pride. It is this kind of interaction that has fostered the deep-seated hatred existing between these bitter rivals. At this time of year, every sunset brings a possibility of violent confrontation in the dark of the night. One evening, we find the females leading their young across the middle of the open plains. It is obvious from the blood on the lionesses' faces that the cubs are being taken to a fresh kill. They have caught a large male giraffe, a great prize for these lean times. As the pride settles down to feed, Smudge watches over the family. But there are others living on the marsh who also need food, and it is not long before sinister shapes begin to gather on the fringes of the darkness surrounding the kill. The cub's presence here now places them in mortal danger. The lions continue bouts of feeding through the night. As dawn approaches, they are gorged, rolling on their backs to ease their discomfort and speed up digestion. The hyenas have begun to gather in numbers now, and still arrive from all directions. Myomi and Smudge try to keep them at bay, but as the sun rises, the enemy closes in. A savage two-day battle that will change the course of Myomi's pride forever is about to commence. It is only when the male arrives that the hyenas withdraw. He has killed a young, inexperienced hyena on the outskirts of the skirmish, and he shakes his victim with anger and frustration. The next day, it appears that the lions have abandoned the battle and their kill. The victorious hyenas squabble over their hard-won pride. For the lions, the fight has had tragic consequences. Smudge has been gravely injured and is separated from the rest of the pride. Her leg dangles uselessly from a torn and bitten shoulder. Her agony is apparent every time she tries to move. With her is one of the young cubs, now the only remaining survivor of the new litter. Her brothers and sisters were killed somewhere in the night, and she herself has been badly mauled. Instinctively, they both know that they must make it to cover before nightfall. Smudge heads for the rain tree at the edge of the marsh, where the pride often meet up at night. As evening falls, she is within sight of it, but is too exhausted to continue. The cub has made it to the safety of a low tree. She will be safe here while she waits for the pride to arrive. Smudge eventually drags herself to the base of the meeting tree. It has taken her the whole day to travel less than a mile. The night is dark and dangerous for the cub, separated from the females for the first time in her short life. Smudge listens intently for the sound of her approaching sisters. When the rest of the pride arrive, silently emerging from the night, Smudge is overjoyed. She struggles over to greet and head rub as if ready to join in the hunt. For 12 years, she has set out every night, shoulder to shoulder with her sisters and daughters. But tonight, for the first time, her broken body will not respond, and the pride cannot wait. The cub is strong enough to limp along and moves off with the females. But the pain is too much for Smudge. For a while, she struggles valiantly after the pride until she sinks to the ground, exhausted, calling mournfully to the night and the disappearing shapes of her lifelong companions. Fate has dealt her a bitter blow. At night in Savuti, weakness of any kind is certain to attract deadly attention. The hyenas are quick to sense the helplessness of the stranded lioness, and their tentative approach soon turns into a vicious attack. The attack is suddenly broken off as the calls of more hyenas come from the marsh. This area is a territorial no man's land between clan boundaries, and the noise of the attack on Smudge has attracted the attention of a rival group. Within minutes, the full might of both clans has joined the fray on the open plain, in a frenzy of scent marking and running skirmishes. Hyenas are masterful opportunists, and the intruding clan exploits the attack on the lioness as a chance to gain some precious hunting ground in a divided battle. The attack on Smudge is forgotten, and she will live through another painful night.
It's the time of the wildebeest again, and the tawny shapes are drawn by the need to devour. Kill is watched from the shadows. Quickly, the hyenas identify the lions and realize that the males are absent. Because Matsumi is weaker, she has to struggle to fight her way into the feeding frenzy. The noise attracts the entire southern clan. As the numbers mount up, the battle begins. Perhaps sparked by recent memories, Matsumi is the most aggressive. while attacking other lionesses viciously. The lions are helpless, and from the safety of the trees, they can only watch their kill disappear. Blood flows tonight. This incident, at least, was simply a struggle for food. Competition between the super predators. Hyenas to torment the lions. They both arrived at an elephant carcass to scavenge. Even those regal lions compete for the rotten flesh. The rivalry reaches far beyond the competition for food. If animals can hate, this is a blood feud of hatred. For millennia, these two scavengers and hunters have waged an ancient war against each other. It is often unpleasant to witness, desperately sad and horrifying, always deeply disturbing. Until now, this war has been veiled in the secrecy of darkness. Sometime during the night, hyenas have killed a buffalo. The young lioness is alone, scavenging from their kill. Their tolerance is short-lived. The calls of the hyena assault carry miles across the grassland to a male of the pride who is always eager to confront the hyenas. Usually, we think of lions as noble hunters and hyenas as lowly scavengers. Often it is the other way around. The matriarch is alerted and storms back to save her cubs. A lioness from the pride is surrounded and attacked. Her usual close companion, Matsumi, is away in the hills with her cubs. But the rest of the pride rushes to her aid. The young male darts in to take on the hyenas. This youngster, on the verge of adulthood, has already had many violent encounters with hyenas. Fear has turned to something more akin to hatred. Hyenas recognize the transition. It was a skirmish, not a battle. No blood was spilled. Today.
A few nights later, strange wails and laughter pierced the gathering dusk.
I just heard this incredible noise. Hyenas. Obviously there was something afoot.
It is Farai, alive but bone-thin, weak, and facing a vicious mob.
Life as a nomad had obviously taken its toll, and we couldn't believe how bad Farai was looking.
It was just incredible to see a lion in such poor condition. I mean, all signs of his mane had disappeared. and he was just an extremely thin and desperate lion.
Farai is engaged in a fight for his life. And then comes the cavalry. He's formed a coalition with another nomadic male, one who is also in terrible condition. But his presence is enough to turn the tide. After a brief but desperate battle, the lions drive off the hyenas, and then exact a grisly revenge. In the aftermath, Farai has taken a hyena cub. Hyenas are relatively slow breeders, and the death of a single cub can be an enormous loss. Farai seems almost too weak and exhausted to eat the cub.
It's most unusual for a lion to eat a hyena, but Farai was obviously really desperate and starving.
Still, the Richardsons hold out some hope for the young lion.
Given the fact that he'd survived through most of the dry season, and he had formed a coalition with another male, he'd obviously hung in this long. And we just hoped that he'd manage to hang in a bit longer.
With her sight impaired, she can only sniff at the bodies. Adversaries are always watching and waiting to slip in from the night. At the water, Matsumi quenches the drastic thirst that develops from a cobra bite and listens to the nightmare behind her. Cubs are gone, and her own survival now hangs in the balance. Lions appear from everywhere, ignoring old established boundaries, encroaching on forbidden ground. They are all after the same food supply. As Matsumi leads the central pride in the hunt, another pride comes running in. They are neighbors and constant adversaries like the hyenas. Matsumi's pride is attacked and chased. As they retreat, one female is separated behind the line of attack by the intruders. She is surrounded and seriously injured. With only a few minutes of respite between attacks, the female is tormented throughout the night. Matsumi has been waiting in the shadows and comes in to investigate when the growls subside. The injured lioness is an older female, possibly her mother. But Matsumi can do nothing. She is chased off, and the old female is left alone to whatever fate awaits her. In the night, her blood drains out into the grass. The central pride is now smaller by one lioness. It is always sad to watch the death of a lion or a hyena that we have come to know. But these endless cycles of life and death have continued throughout the ages. Jamela is back from his patrol, always ready to confront hyenas. He catches the matriarch. It is a moment of supreme opportunity for the male. Not concerned with food, his drive is to kill. Her back is broken. The matriarch can't survive a brutal mauling by a male lion. On her very first hunt, the princess is faced with a catastrophe. She has only just passed from total dependence on her mother's milk into the harsh world where she will have to fend for herself. As the princess finds her, the matriarch breathes her last. He is the hyena killer. swift bite to the neck, and the new matriarch is dead. The day belongs to the lions.
Combat with lions. A puncture wound like this from a lion can eventually fester. When infection spreads, death can be slow. This male doesn't have much time left. Lions are the greatest threat to hyenas. They account for over half of all hyena deaths here. Many of the victims are young hyena males looking for a new